Where, oh, where has Joanna been? Where have I been? Well, I'm going to tell you that's what this video is. I had surgery. Before then, I got depressed severely. I have not been okay mentally and physically, but these past 2 weeks, I have been mainly there in bed or sat on my bed, because I had to have surgery. They had to do keyhole surgery to check for endometriosis, which I don't have, thankfully, but I do have other stuff. And I did post on TikTok about it, but I can talk about it here in more depth. I don't think there's anything serious, so that's good. It's just a lot of things to put on my list of things that's wrong with me, I suppose. So I have a dodgy womb. Yeah, I have something called retrograde menstruation, which apparently is quite common. Um, Never heard of it. My family have never heard of it either. No one I know has heard of it. So is it common? Maybe we just don't know what's happening to us women, or us with wombs. Basically, what that means is when you are menstruating, the blood will go back up the fallopian tubes, so it's like a reflux, I suppose. So that can cause heavy periods and worse cramps. I also have a hyper something or other. Trying to remember it all. I don't know where the letter's gone. A hyper something or other, which makes sense considering I have ADHD. A hyper anti-flexed uterus, meaning it's kind of like in a V shape, and it's like, so basically imagine your uterus is like that, right? Which is, it's supposed to be like this. It's actually, again, common for it to be a bit like this, and that means that it'll be pushing down on your bladder. It can be like that, so it's pushing, I think, on like abdomen. It can go a different way, so it's pushing on your back, and that can lead to severe back pain. So if you have really bad back pain on your periods, that could be why, because it's in a weird, your uterus is like bent weirdly. Again, kind of common, we just don't know about it. But because mine is a hyper one, that means that it's like that. Like, yeah. So would make sense, considering when I tried to get an IUD, they literally could not get it in. They couldn't even get like the thing in to put, yeah, they just couldn't get it in. And it bloody hurt when they did that. Like, I mean, the worst pain I think I've ever felt. Yes, I've not had children, but I don't care if they're like, oh, well, you never had children. I've been in pain, a lot of pain before. That was like the worst pain I've ever felt. I nearly fainted due to the pain. Just them trying to fit an IUD, and it wouldn't go in. Now that makes sense. honestly, I think before they actually try to fit an IUD into anyone, they should do an ultrasound scan on the womb. Like, it's really friggin' easy to do and it don't take that long. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah, I have this weird friggin' uterus. Also makes sense too, because that can lead to cramps and bad periods. Worse and worse cramps. It can also lead to bladder weakness, because obviously your bladder's here, and if your uterus is pushing down on your bladder, you're gonna, have bladder weakness. And I was born with kidney problems, and I've got bladder problems, so now my bladder is even weaker. It kind of all makes sense, honestly. I apparently also have something wrong with my bowel, which is not just the IBS that the doctors diagnosed me with. They could have done checks, but whatever. Yeah, I might have something wrong with my bowel, and I looked that up, and it could actually be something to do with gallbladder, which could also make sense because my mum has something wrong with her gallbladder. Her dad had his removed. So yeah, I do not have endometriosis though, but all of this could actually lead to it. So yeah, and what they had to do was do 2 little incisions, so one down below my abdomen and then one in my belly button, and yeah, they had to go inside and put cameras and stuff in there. So I was in hospital only for one day. I wasn't in there overnight, luckily, even though I did have water retention. So I was in the hospital for way longer than I was supposed to be, because I just couldn't go for a pee, funnily enough. And obviously, because I was dehydrated due to the surgery, my body was just soaking up any water I was drinking. So they did an ultrasound scan on my bladder and it was completely empty. But they were like, you still need to go to the toilet though, because we have to make sure that you're not retaining water. So I finally did though. And I was able to leave the hospital. My surgery was at 11 a.m. I left the hospital around 9 p.m. I was literally waiting just to pee for hours. For hours. Great. Oh my god. If I actually want to have children one of these days, God knows if I'd actually be able to, because I also apparently have low, is it HCG levels? Is that what they're called? Where's the other bit gone? They sent me a really stupid letter and I still haven't phoned them about it, which I probably should do. HCG levels. So I guess if I actually wanted kids, I'd probably have to do tests and shit. And I might not actually be able to get pregnant because the male wiggly things might not actually be able to get into my womb due to how it's shaped. So yeah, interesting. I need to phone them about that. I haven't phoned them. I just couldn't be bothered. These past 2 weeks, I have been really exhausted. I thought I was fine last week. I thought, was it last week? Or whenever it was. I thought, oh, I'm feeling better. I'm not in as much pain anymore. I was in quite a lot of pain in the first week. And I also started my period 2 days after the surgery. So it was just awesome. Great. Fantastic, right? but I thought I was okay, so didn't even do much at all. I just decided to clean my room because it was pissing me off, and just decided to help out a little bit around the house, and I almost fainted. Like, literally, it was actually quite scary. I thought I was getting a migraine. I kind of felt like foggy. My vision was going a little bit, which usually happens when I'm starting to get a migraine. I'll get like blurry vision. That'll be like one of the first things that happens. And that was happening. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, but I've got to go to the toilet. So I went upstairs and I was literally sat on the loo. And all of a sudden, everything was going like dark and I was getting tunnel vision, and my ear, I've passed out like once before, and that time too my ears got really warm. It was really weird and I couldn't hear properly. um and that happened, and then I got off the toilet, thankfully, and went on the landing, and I knew that I was going to faint, so I just shouted for help. I was shouting at everyone like, "Mom, Dad, my brother, help!" And they thankfully came to help me. But I ended up just laying on the floor. I couldn't move. Whenever I moved, I felt like I was going to faint, and luckily I didn't lose consciousness, and I was okay. I My parents, they got me some like biscuits and some juice just to help my blood sugar. Could have been that, but I just think that I overexerted myself when I shouldn't have. I should have just not done anything. But my God, I was bored because I was so tired and fatigued, and I was in pain, and I didn't have any energy to do anything, like even just to like sit and crochet, because I started getting headaches as well, so I couldn't focus. And I was also on my period, and sometimes when I'm on my period or coming up to my period, I can get migraines. So just like, and I was so bored. I was so bored because I just couldn't do anything. So yeah, I learned though not to do that, and then rested. And now the 2 weeks of like respite are over, and I'm feeling fine. Like, physically, I'm feeling good. Mentally, not so much. Mental health kind of has been getting worse these past few months, to be fair. And I'm working on it. I'm on a waiting list for therapy. Woo. I have higher medication, like a higher dosage of it, which does seem to have helped. I'm also just got a CBD vape, which honestly, I've been taking it just for a few days now, but like that has been helping too. And trying to just get back into doing content. I posted a few things on TikTok today. I did makeup for the first time. Nothing like crazy, just this. But I felt good, and I went into town today with my dad just to do a bit of shopping, and it's been sunny, and I'm starting to feel better, and I feel though like I need to really sit down with myself and start focusing on working, and the business idea that me and my family have, really starting on that and putting my all, or a lot more into content creation, because like I really love doing the Reddit spooky stories that I was doing, and I'm going to do that. Don't worry, it's coming back. Obviously, I've just had a lot on, but I want to start doing so much more. And I started writing actually whilst I was in bed. Thankfully, I was actually getting a bit of inspiration and motivation because I was just watching Netflix and got inspiration from some of the shows I was watching. So I started writing something, and I actually think it would be a good idea to continue that, but I need a kick up the ass. I really do. And I'm determined to actually do shit. I just have to get past my own head. And I think that's the worst part of it, because it's really difficult when you are mentally unwell and you also have a neurodivergent, so it's difficult. But I got this. I got this. You know, I have plans, big plans, and I'm going to succeed. I've been watching Naruto, and I'm like, right, if Naruto can do it, so can I. I'm not a failure. I will not back down. I won't give up. I am Naruto. Anyway, just wanted to let you all know that that's been going on. That's been happening. That still can't speak though. My brain's fried. It's getting late. That's why it is actually nighttime and getting late. And I'm tired. Because I've actually been busy today. That's why. So I am gonna go take my makeup off. It's the only downfall to put your makeup on is having to take it off at night. And go to bed. And hopefully be seeing you guys real soon. Like real soon. See ya.